All right, so next we're going to be making a lobster stock using the Maine lobsters that we've broken down. Very simple process, incorporating the shells, some mirepoix, vegetables, a little bit of brandy, and water. We'll bring it to a simmer for 30 to 45 minutes, and we'll have a basic stock that we can use in other recipes. So taking a look at our ingredients here, we have the lobster shells from the bodies that we've broken down. I have a little bit of olive oil and butter, and then I have a simple mirepoix of carrots, onions, garlic, and a little bit of thyme. I want this to be a very clean stock that it could be used in a bisque or a risotto or any other application where I need a stock, so I'm not going to add a whole bunch of other flavorings. I just want to highlight the flavor of the lobster. I'm also going to be using a little bit of brandy to deglaze the pan, incorporating a base flavor that matches the lobster. So the first thing I want to do is I have a hot pan here. I add my olive oil and my butter. And then I'm going to cook the shells first. I want to get some nice color on these before I add my mirepoix and my other aromatics. And as you can see, I chose a wide bottom pan, straight-sided. I could do it in a large stock pot, but I'd like to be able to control how I'm cooking my shells. I don't want to do it in a tight stock pot and fill it with shells because I won't get the color that I want. So wide, about an inch thick worth of shells. I have this on high heat right now. So I'm using a combination of butter and olive oil in making this base stock so that I can get some great color on the shells without burning the butter. If I was to use olive oil on its own, that would work, but I wouldn't have that rich butter flavor. If I was to use butter on its own, it might burn, and I wouldn't be able to cook this on high heat to get the nice flavor from the shells as I brown them. So it'll take about 5 to 10 minutes of cooking this, and I'll stir it every couple minutes. I want to get some color. I don't want to stir it constantly. Once I see the color changing to a bright red, I'll add my mirepoix, deglaze with my brandy, cook it for a little bit longer to get some color on the mirepoix, and then I'll add water to cover and simmer for half an hour. I don't want them to be completely cooked because I am going to be cooking these with the mirepoix at the same time and getting some caramelization, which is developing a fond on the bottom of the pan, which develops flavor for our stock. All right, let's take a look at that concept of fond, where it's kind of browning right here on the bottom of the pan. This is kind of a sign that I'm ready to add my vegetables. Onions and carrots. I chose not to do celery. Celery is very common in stocks, but I just want onions, carrots, and garlic. I think these support the flavor of the lobster the best. And I'm going to do some fresh thyme, stems and all. So this is very similar to if I was to be making a lobster bisque. I'm going to start with the same kind of process, but at this point I'm going to add more aromatics like paprika, some peppercorn, a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of cayenne. But for this stock, I want a base flavor for using in other applications, as I said, risotto or a bisque or a soup. So let's cook this for another 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how much color we get here, until the vegetables are nice and caramelized, and then I'll do a deglaze with our brandy. All right, so the base of our stock is looking really nice. We're getting a lot of nice color on the vegetables. The shells are bright red. As I said, I've stirred this periodically in the last 10 minutes to extract the flavor and get nice color. So now I'm going to do a deglaze with brandy. And I typically will flame that off, cook the alcohol off. All right, I'm now going to add water to cover and bring it to a simmer. All right, I want to make this a pretty strong stock, so I don't want to dilute it with too much water. I'll simmer from 30 to 45 minutes. I'll give it a taste to see if I've extracted the flavor that I need, and then I'll go ahead and strain it and cool it and use it in other recipes here.